Once there was two brothers named Jacob and Max. They had never been to their grandparents' house before. They were excited to visit their grandparents' house for the first time ever, and they were eager to explore the big old house that would someday be passed down to their parents and then to them. It was the first night, and everything was normal so far, but once it was time for bed, their grandparents warned them to never leave their rooms and lock the doors till morning. They told the boys that it was for their own safety. The boys were kind of confused, but agreed and slept good the first night. One of the boys did wake up and heard some noises, but then just went back to bed, thinking it was just a cat. They woke up in the morning and everything was going well all day, but once night fell, their grandparents still warned them again about not coming out the room until morning. The boys started getting curious, especially since it's the last night of their visit. They decided to sneak out of their room and explore the house. The whole house was very dark as they crept down the hallway, trying to be as quiet as possible, exploring the hallways and the rooms. Suddenly, they heard a strange noise behind them. They turned around and saw their grandparents walking across the hall, looking possessed and lifeless, kind of like zombies. The boys got scared and froze, hoping that their grandparents wouldn't turn around and see them. As soon as they started making a run for their room, their grandparents heard the noise and turned around. They started chasing them with an evil look in their eyes. The boys were too far from their room, so they hid in a closet. Thankfully, their grandparents didn't see them get in. But they could hear the grandparents' footsteps getting closer and closer, just looking for them. This went on for about an hour, till the coast was clear and they heard their grandparents go away. They decided to make a run for their room again. Upstairs, down the hall, and to the left. They remembered. 3, 2, 1. They ran as fast as they could. Their grandparents heard the noise too and started running that way. Finally, with all their energy, they made it back to their room and quickly locked the door. Now they could hear their grandparents walking the halls right behind the door, up and down the hall. Then the footsteps started getting slower and slower, even though they were still there right on the other side. They were in shock at what just happened. They couldn't sleep that whole night. Instead, they just waited until morning just to be safe. When the sun came up, they seen their parents outside the window pulling up in their car. They finally opened the door and were relieved. They made it. Their grandparents were also acting normal again, as if nothing strange had happened the whole night before. They were smiling and waving at them goodbye as they got in the car. Do they even remember what happened? Who knows? As they drove away from their grandparents, they turned around and looked at the back window of their car. To their horror, they seen an evil grin on both of their grandparents' faces, and quickly sat back down in their seats looking forward. I heard you two had fun, their parents said. In fact, Grandma and Grandpa insisted that you both come over again next weekend for a special surprise. I wonder what they have planned. Any ideas, boys? The boys looked at each other in fear.